ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम् कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः। एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे। असूर्या नाम ते लोका अन्धेन तमसावृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये केचात्महनो जनाः। अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयः नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतो अन्यान् अत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति तदेजति तन्नेजति तद्धूरे तद्वन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहः कशोक एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः सपर्यगात् शुक्रम् अकायमवृणम् अस्नाविरगम् शुद्धम् अपापविद्धम् कविर्मनीषी परिभूः स्वयंभू यथा तत्यथोत्थान् व्यदधात् शाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः अन्धन्तमप्रविशन्ति ये अविद्यामुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य उविद्यायागं रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्विद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रुमधीराणाम् येनस्तद्विचक्षिरे विद्यां च यस्तद्वेदोभयगं सः अविद्ययां मृत्युं तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते अन्धन्तमः प्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूतिमुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य सम्भूत्यागुं रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्सम्भवात् अन्यदाहुरसम्भवात् इति शुश्रुमधीराणाम् येनस्तद्विचक्षिरे सम्भूतिं च विनाशं च यस्तद्वेदोभयगं सः विनाशेन मृत्युं तीर्त्वा सम्भूत्यामृतमश्नुते हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापिहितं मुखम् तत्त्वं पूषन्नपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये पूषन् एकर्षे यमः सूर्यः प्राजापत्य व्यूहरश्मीन् समूह तेजो यत्ते रूपम् कल्याणतमम् तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसावसौ पुरुषः सोऽहमस्मि वायुरनिलम् अमृतम् अथेदम् भस्मान्तकम् शरीरम् ॐ क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर अग्ने नयसुपताराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम ईशिताः सर्वभूतानाम् सर्वभूतमयश्च यः ईशावास्येन सम्बोध्यम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् ॐ
Thank you, Nitya.
Thank you, Bindu.
So we will start the fourth class today. नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिवेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शान्तिमन्त्रम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदम् पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। In the last class, we completed 3 verses, starting with Isavasyopanishad Sarvam, and described it, the third mantra. We saw that Atmahanaha, which are the people who are killing Atma, which is really having no birth or death, which is beyond birth and death. That Atma is being killed by wrong conception or wrong knowledge, avidya. So, in due to that, whether you are a ordinary human being or even you are a Brahmaloka Vasi or Hiranyagarbha, if you think that you have a birth and rebirth and you have to do karmas because of which you get punya, so you can go to the higher lokas, and kshine punye martilokam vishanti, after having completed the punyas or the effects of good karmas, you come back to this world of martyaloka, martilokam vishanti, the world of human beings, so that you can again do the Vedic injunction and karmas, so that you get results of those karmas. And this cycle of metamorphosis, of going to a higher world and coming back, is in a way thinking yourself that you are the body and you are karmas, you are the kartrutva, you are the karta, you are the bhokta, you are the doer and you are the enjoyer. And that is what is making you feel like that you are having birth and rebirth, which indirectly is not giving your true nature of Atma, which is beyond birth and death, now being forced into birth and death by your wrong knowledge or avidya. So, Atmahanaha, who are the people who are thinking that we are going back again and again. So, Yasya Atmanoho Hanana Advimsaha Samsaranti Tad Viparyena Vidvamso Muchyande Ana Atmahanaha Tat Kidrisham Idatma Ityuchyate. So avidvamsa, those who have no knowledge, they think that they are the one who are taking birth and again, and they are going into samsaranti. And vidvamsaha, the vipariyena, those who are in the opposite of that, vidvamsa, they are muchyande, they are emancipated from the false notion that they are having birth and death again and again. So, what is this Atma which you are mentioning here as that is being killed and non-killed, etc.? Can you please tell us the nature of this Atma? Is the question for which the next few verses are explaining that. Anejade ekam manaso javiyaha nainaddeva apnuvan purvam arshad taddhavato anyato anyanasti tishtan tasmin apaha matarishwa dadati. Anejat. Now the word anejat is coming from a verbal root ejr company. Ejr means disturbing oneself from a static equilibrium. That is what is called ejr, means to kampanam, means to vibrate, or to even vibration in its own, or chalanam or movement. Both can be taken the same meaning. So that what is anejat means na ejat, which doesn't have any sort of motion or any sort of movement within or without outside. So kampanam chalanam swa avastha prachyuti. From one's static equilibrium, any fall from that is called chalanam, otherwise kampanam. Tadvarjitam. So Atma is tadvarjitam. There is no vibration within self or movement with outside it, because there is no movement outside possible. Because why? Tad ekam. That is only one. When it is one, how can it move beyond one? Within itself, it is still thinkable, or we can assume that. But in the case of when it is only one, how can it move outside it? So it is not only that it doesn't have any sort of movement, but it is also one only, eka rupam, sarvada eka rupam ityartha. That is always, it has got only one particular or one status. And ekam, not only because it is sarva bhuteshu, even if you consider all the creation and movement, it is not separate from it. So it is inside everything, or everything is inside it. Whichever way you say it, there is no movement is possible. So that is what the first two words are making. Anejat ekam. Now comes manasaha javiyaha. Javiya means it is faster than. Javiyaha is a yasun pratyaya, with a suffix which is added for superlative. So it is movement faster than possible is considered here. Javiya means. Manasa Javiya means it is faster than the mind. Normally we know the potency of the mind. We have our own experiences that instantaneously you can think about to either sides of the world, whether you are in US or in Australia or Japan or whichever may be the countries you want, it can go within the Bhuloka itself, in the earth itself. Now, even if you want to look at the outer space, whether it is to Saturn or, the Milky Way galaxy or Andromeda or anywhere, the mind can travel in such swiftness, which is not comparable even to the light. We know of the physical material, light is the fastest, but mind is faster than light. So, mind is considered the fastest and known to human beings. But here it says this one which doesn't move is faster than mind. It can be faster than the mind because to mind to reach somewhere and cognize that Atma has to be there. That Chaitanya Swabhava of the Atma has to illumine whichever place mind wants to conceptualize or even reach. So even before the mind reaches, the Atma is there. But how does it compare faster than that? Because of this being present there, it should have reached there faster than the mind. That is a descriptive way of saying. But actually speaking, tad anejat, it doesn't move. Ekam, it is one and it doesn't move. So it is sarvavyapi. It is there even before the mind can reach. So mind is within the purview of the movement or the areas where Atma can reach. Atma is sarvavyapi. So mind has a limitation because it's a Vishayandam. It can only consider one object at a time. So even if it is considering the outer world, it can only consider one item, whereas Atma is sarvavyapi. It is present everywhere at all the time. Nainat Deva Apnuvan. Now here the word Deva is used in a special sense that Dyotana Deva. By illumining nature, they are called Devas. Here the illumining nature is taken for the sense organs or Indriyas. The eyes can illumine objects, therefore we are visualizing the objects. That is as per the Vedanta. It is not the scientific way of explaining. Scientific way, the light falls on the object, it comes, etc. Whereas here, the potency of the eye has to be there as an illuminator, therefore we see objects. The reason why Vedanta is taking this attitude is that even if light falls on an object and it falls onto our retina through the eyes, if the mind is not or allowing that illuminating power to the eyes, that object may not be seen or we may be oblivion to the object. Because the illuminating nature of the eye is mandatory for the light, even if it is falling up to the retina, to be cognized or perceived by human beings. Therefore, in the Vedanta, they call it as Dyotana Deva. So, their illuminating power is the reason why the Indriyas are able to conceive or perceive the world of objects outside. Same is the case with the ears. Even if somebody is calling, we don't hear it. Even though the sound wave has fallen into our eardrums and etc. All the prakriya or the procedure has happened, but we are not able to hear it because the Indriyas, the by nature of Dyotanat or illuminating nature of the Indriyas, if they do not function, then the sense organs are ineffective. So to show that Naina Deva Apnuvan. So here we should understand that the reaching, Apnuvan means to reach. Even the Indriyas are not able to reach because Indriyas need mind in between the Atma and the illuminating to correlate or concise or, to couple them together to make an experience complete. So, Purvam Harshat means before, even in front of it. If the progress of that light from the Indriyas are reaching the objects, but they are not able to reach the place because the Atma is already there. Even though the illumination is taking place, Atma is able to be there. That is why the Indriyas are able to illumine the objects. Even though the mind is an intermediary function for the Indriyas to project it. So the Atma is using the mind to give the light of Atma, Swaprakasha, through the Indriyas to the object. But Atma is there in the objects also, because that is the nature of Atma in the object also as their own Atma. Any object you take, and every object has an Atma. So there is no difference between our Atma and the viewer's Atma and the object's Atma. But we, due to the false notion that we are individuals, the mind and in the sense organs play a role and think that they are the one which is seeing the object, or they are the one which is illuminating the object or making the perception complete. But the Upanishad says, Purva Marshat, even before this happens, Atma is present everywhere. So there is the nature of Atma is being explained in different ways so that we can get a idea about Atma. At the same time, it also tells us what is the wrong notions we are having. Now, when we see an object, we are seeing the description of the object as Nama Rupa. We do not see the Atma Tattva or Swarupa of an object, just as we are not able to see our own Atma Tattva. We are able to see up to the body and the mind. But to the Atma, we cannot see ourselves or Atma, but we can only know that we are Atma from the experience of that Aham. But what happens is, in the case of an object, even though the same Aham, Atma, is present as Aham in the object, we are not able to perceive it because we are trying to use our Indriyas to see the Atma. Now the Atma is, description-wise, Alakshanam, Avikaram, Achindaniyam, Avyavaharyam. All those things which we studied in Mandukya very clearly says that even though Atma is present in every object, we cannot see Atma because Atma is not seeable. It is not an object of perception. It is the very subject which is making the perception for the subject to complete it. Because the subject is having the Atma, the object is also having the Atma, and the process of completing of the perception of the object is only because both places Atma is present. Therefore, we are able to have the knowledge or the consciousness or awareness of the object. But at the same time, the limitation of the Indriyas or the sense organs or the mind to conceive an object which doesn't have a lakshana or a specific quality or a nature in which it can be perceived is absent, as Atma doesn't have that. So we are not able to see the Atma. Actually, when we are seeing an object, we are seeing both. We are seeing the Atma, because of which we come to know that object. We are also seeing the details of the Nama Rupa because they are perceivable with the sense organs. So, Nainat Deva Apnuvan Purvamarshat, though Atma being present there, as already have been there, we are not able to see because it is having no lakshana or no perceivable qualities or nomenclature with which we can identify them. At the same time, the nature of the Indriyas, which can perceive it, makes it complete only because Atma is present there. Tad davato anyanteteti iti. So, tad dhavat. That means this Atma. Dhavat is as if they are running. Before reaching that, or sense organs reach there, it is taking effort to run and reach the sense organs, the object. No, that is not the case. Anyan atyeti. That is, actually speaking, it's already passes beyond them. It is sarvavyapi. So it is an object which is always present everywhere. So we feel that it is already reaching there because we are seeing an object. These are all the wrong conceptions we have. I've got tishtat. It is standing or it is remaining stationary there. Tasmin apaha. Tasmin means in that Atma, apaha tishtat, matarishva, tavati. Here the two vital organs are being considered. Apaha means water. Matarishva is actually speaking, master of life. Actually speaking, it is the Vayu. So we have to consider that both water and Vayu are considered to be present, stationary already in the Atma Tattva. Therefore, what happened is that so Matarishva Matari Antarikshe Chayati Gachati iti. That is the definition of Matarishva. Matari means Antariksham or space. Swayati means Gachati. Where what moves in the Antariksha is Vayu. Apaha means water. Davati is the terminology used for the Vayu or the Apaha. Because you can remember in in Kathopanishad as well as in the Taittiriya it also comes. Bishasmat Vadapavate. So this, by fear of the Atma, Vayu or the air is running here and there to keep the life force active. Same is the case with the water, Apaha. So what is it we have to understand is that how does this happen? Acharya says that we have these two conflicting statements, that is, it is stationary, at the same time it is faster than mind. How does these contradictory statements Upanishad is making? Because if it is one and the ekam, how can it have two different aspects of it? So, Upadhikrita sarvam samsara vikriya anubhuti avivekinam mudanam ekameva cha pratideham pratyavavasate. The explanation given by Acharya here is that Acharya means Acharya Shankara. Upadhikrita. It is due to the association of instruments like mind. So, when it is on itself, it doesn't have movement or it is present everywhere. But when we take an upadhi or an instrument like mind, the movement of the mind is now considered as a movement, and therefore we say that it is faster than the mind. Because before the mind reaches, the Atma is there. Therefore, the conflict is not actually conflicting. It is because we take the instrument as a reference, then there is movement. If we don't take the instrument, then there is no movement. This is exactly where the Nirguna and Saguna is being also confused by people, by Mudhanam, by those who are dull-headed. They do not understand that Pratideham Pratyavabhasate. Pratideham means it's not only human body, every Saguna form is because due to the association of the instrument. Now, if you take out the instrument's qualities of it, as I told you, when we see an object, we see the description of the object, the Nama and the Rupa. Whether it is the Nama, Rupa of Indra, Hiranyagarbha, Vishnu, or animals, human beings, anything object that inanimate, Stavara Jangama, which are stationary like rocks and mountains. Jangama means movements like animals, human beings, water, etc., Vayu, etc. All of them we attribute movement due to the instruments into which they are associated. So there is a movement for them, or there is a Saguna Rupam for them. Actually, the Saguna Rupam is depending upon the Nirguna Rupa of the Atma present in all of them. In all of them there is Atma present or Brahman present. Because it is alakshana or without any lakshana, we are not able to see them or perceive them. So the saguna is now taken and say that nirguna and is different, saguna is different. Actually, there is no difference between nirguna and saguna. The nirguna is the substratum or the very basis of very atma of everything. Sarvatma. Sarvatma is the word used in the Upanishads. So the Sarvatma is Sarvanam Atma. It is the Atma of everything. Even the Saguna's Atma is Atma only, same Atma. Therefore, there is no difference between the Nirguna and Saguna when you take it in the Saguna is the perception of by the instruments of our Indriyas and mind, whereas Nirguna cannot be perceived. Therefore, even if it is present, we are not able to cognize it or give any attribution to that. This is how the mantra, third mantra is, I think. Na mantranam jamita asti purva mantrokta artham punaraha. Now, since the Vedic mantras are untiring in their emphasis, the idea imparted by the previous verse is repeated again. Normally in the Shastra, there is a defect when the master repeats again the same words. But in Advaita or in the Vedanta or Vedic mantras, punarukti is the word used by the Sanskrit term. Punaha ukti means to repeat again. So repetition of the same theme or same mantra or same meaning to drive in a point by the Vedic mantras is not considered a default. So here the Isavasyopanishad repeats what has been told in the third mantra again in the fourth mantra with slight variation so that we get to drive some more clarity into the nature of Atma, because that is where the third mantra started. So the nature of Atma is repeated again in the fourth mantra. They say that the fourth mantra is Tad ejati, Tanna ejati, Tad dure, Tad u antike, Tad antarasya, Sarvasya, Tad u Sarvasya, Asya Bahyata. Now, Tad ejati, the same word, na anejat, that is exactly that verb is used here. Tad means Tad Atma, which we are referring to in these two verses. Ejati means it moves, it vibrates, or it has a displacement from its static equilibrium. Tad na ejati. At the same time, it does not move. Tad moves not. Tad dure, it is farthest. Tad tu antike, that is the innermost. It is farther of the farthest and inner of the innermost. Tad andarasya sarvasya. It is inner of the inner sarvasya. Here sarvasya is everything perceivable. Sarvasya andarasya. Tadu sarvasya asya bahyata. At the same time, it is external to everything also. Now here is the very conflicting statements or contradictory words used for Atma because of the different aspects which we spoke in the earlier one, were Upadhi Kritam or without Upadhi. When you associate with Upadhi, without associate Upadhi. So what does it say? Atma Tattvam etat pragatam ejati chalati tadeva na ejati swato na chalati. Swata achalameva sat chalati eva ityartaha. Swayam swataha achalameva. By nature itself, it is immovable because there is no other place other than itself for it to move. So for movement, you need area or place other than itself. Now space doesn't move itself outside space. It cannot move outside because space is occupying everywhere. So you cannot say space is moving without, and because it cannot move anywhere else. The tanna tad ejati, but it is moving, we say that. For example, if we take a pot space and we move the pot, we presume that the pot space is moved, because if it has been water, the water is also occupying the space of the space inside the pot. So when we move the pot, we are moving the water also along with the pot. So we think that when we are moving a pot, we are moving the space along with the pot. But actually speaking, the water is moving, not the space of the water. The water is moving inside the space, but it is not moving the space using the water. The space cannot be moved. So that is why it is moving, at the same time it is not moving. For us, it appears it is moving. So even though it is swayam achalam eva, it is not moving anywhere because it is not having anywhere to move. Sat chalati ityartaha. It chalati, it moves, this is the meaning. Kincha, why? Tadhure varsha kodi sateirapi vidusham aprapyavat dhure iva. Varsha koti satairapi. By millions of years, it appears to be farthest for the people who are avidusha, who are dull-witted, or those who are not able to grasp the nature of Atma. For them, it will say, it is too difficult to understand. It is beyond my head. It goes above my head. I am not able to understand it. So, dure, tad antike. So that is being explained. So it is considered to be the farthest for the people who are finding it difficult to understand where it is or how to grasp this Atma Tattva as it is being explained by the Upanishads. Aprapya iva. It cannot be attained at all. Satagodi, by hundreds of millions of years. Even if they try it, they are not able to grasp it. Andike, tad antike, atyandameva vidusham. For those vidusham, those who are able to grasp it, those who are having the perfect chitta shuddhi or the clarity in the mind, atyandam samipa. It is the innermost. Nothing can be more inner than one's own self, because their own nature it is. That yet sakshat aparokshat Brahma is the Upanishad word in the Brihadaranya. There can be nothing more aparoksha, more immediate than yourself, because there is distance. Even if you take your mind, a mind is a bit of a distance far away from Atma. That is why we are able to perceive the mind. We are able to cognize the mind and the thoughts and the emotions of the mind, because mind is away from Atma. But Atma in itself is so near, or it is the innermost, or sakshat aparoksha. It is the most immediate thing which one can think about for the vidusham, for the people with the chitta shuddhi, for they understand this is that their nature. They don't have to look anywhere outside. Atmatvat na kevalam dure antigecha. Because being Atma, or the nature of one's own self, it is not dure, it is not farther away, it is antigecha, it is the innermost ever. Tad andarasya abhyandaraha asya sarvasya ya atma sarvandaraha iti shrutehe. Ya atma sarvandaraha. The Shruti Vakyam, that the Upanishad Brihadaranya says that this Atma sarvandaraha. This Atma is the innermost of everything. Whatever you think outside, sarvam khalu idam brahma. So everything is Atma, Brahma. So ya Atma sarvandaraha. It is the innermost of everything. So when we see an object, the object, or when we perceive an object, what we are seeing is the external qualifications like nama and rupa. But the innermost Atma is present there, and we are not able to cognize that or perceive that. But it is a Sarvandaraha. There is not an iota of thing or an atom left out in the cosmos or in the world or perceivable world, which is not having Atma. So this Atma is Abhyandaraha Sarvasya. It is the innermost of everything. It is Shrutehe. Sarvasya Jagataha Nama Rupa Kriyatmakasya Tat U Api Sarvasya Asya Bahyataha. This nature of innermost Atma is not restricted to the innermost aspect of it. It is Asya Bahyataha. It is engulfing the object also. Because it is engulfing the object, we are able to see the description of the object also. Because the description is present inside the Atma. So the Nama Rupa is being cognized or being known or brought into consciousness or awareness because Atma is present outside also. It is inside, andar, it's asya bahasya bahyataha. It is there outside also. Vyabitvad akashavat tan akashavan asya sukshmatvad antatha prajnana ghana yeva. Now prajnana ghana, like the prajnana or the thick consciousness or the ghana means that object which is 100%. Ayoghana means iron ball which has got nothing but iron, 99.999. No, it is 100%. Same way gold, we say 99.999% purity. No, gold is 100%. Same way, here Prajnana Ghana means it is consciousness, mass of consciousness. That mass of consciousness is the nature of objects also, of the individual also. There is nothing outside consciousness or nothing inside consciousness which is other than consciousness. Therefore, it is Ghana and it is also Prajnana Ghana outside also. So inside, outside is possible where there is two things. Now there is only one thing, Egam, Tad Dure, Tad Dvandige, Anejat, Tad Ekam. So when it is Ekam, it is an item or it is an vastu which has no other than that itself. So it is 100% consciousness, awareness or the Chid Ghanam or Prajnana Ghanam of the nature of Atma. Now, what is the benefit of this Atma is being described in the coming verses 6 and 7, which we will do it in the next week, Wednesday. So I will stop these two verses today. We have got a description of Atma and how this Atma is beneficial is being described in the 6th and 7th verse, which we will see it in the next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyavada.